5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
श्रीवर्चस्वमायुष्यम् आरोग्यम् आविदाक्षम् मानं महीयते धनं धान्यं पशुं बहु कीर्तिलाभं बहु धनलाभं शतसंवत्सरं दीर्घमायुः.
Honestly, I felt inspired and motivated after reading The Journey of Perseverance. This is certainly a book worth reading. Congratulations, Priya. You did an amazing job.
Hi, I'm Lavanya. The book, Journey of Perseverance, is highly motivating and inspiring. It gave me a clear picture about what success looks like. Congratulations, Priya ma'am, and thank you for a great book.
Hello everyone, here we are with Natalie. I will just mute you until the mics are getting used to each other. Natalie, we had you already earlier at the summit. You were talking about ethical manufacturing. It's worth to watch that workshop back because it was really amazing information. I love Indonesia and the art coming from there. So it's really worthwhile to check out how Natalie is working on this dream of hers to build an ethical manufacturing awareness all around Indonesia. And she is here today just for fun, just to talk about her perspective on the world today. So I will lead her through a few questions and we will get to know her better. So Natalie, let me see whether the mics are okay. How are you today?
I'm feeling great, Andrea. How are you?
I'm good too. Jag is also here, our all-time supporter. Almost every session, I have to tell you, Jag, that you have to really stretch out a little bit, move around a little bit, because you are with us almost all the time, from morning till evening. So make sure you are moving around, make a few exercises, and thank you very much for your continuous support. And Natalie,
yes,
let's
Andrea.
go and get to know you better. So let's start with something very, very easy. What did you eat for breakfast?
Oh, good question. I didn't have breakfast because I practice intermittent fasting. So I had my lunch.
And okay, maybe that's a good topic to start. So why did you start intermittent fasting and how did you find it? How does it help you?
Yeah, great question, Andrea. Last year, I felt so stressed because of the pandemic. You know, it affected me personally and also professionally. The businesses was not in a good position. So I ended up doing a lot of binge eating. And because I'm a type of person who likes to eat comfort food when I stress, I tended to eat like in the midnight. Noodles, chocolate, all of the sweet things that I love, and snacks, because I love snacks. So after 2 months doing that, on June last year, I decided, you know what, this is not going to happening. This is not going to continue. It needs to stop now. So I researched several ways to at least to help me stop eating during the evening time. So I thought, why not I try intermittent fasting, because it will help me to build like an internal alarm clock. I need to stop eating at 7 or 8 p.m. and that's it. So I practice intermittent fasting for the sake of cutting down the snacks. And after how many years is this? 1.5 years, I lost weight and I felt more energetic. It actually suited my body constitution, so I keep practicing it.
That's great. I like to hear experiences from many people, how they do. And it's kind of like my interest because I'm a dancer. You know that I was searching for this kind of information. Natalie, let's go further and explore a little bit about what you do, because maybe not all of the people were watching your workshop. So let's introduce you a little bit more with your own words. So what are you doing? Tell us a little bit more about Indonesia, Bali, and then a little bit about yourself.
Okay, so I was born and raised up in Bali. I had the privilege to study in Australia for my master degree, which helped expose me with different cultures and more open appreciation of many things, and help open my eyes to different perspective in life. And after finishing my study, I went back home to Bali. That's where I live right now, connecting from Bali, where I work in my family business, a small clothing manufacturing in Kuta. I've been in the business, I think, for about 6 years now. And when I first entered the business, it was very traditional. So little by little, making baby steps, myself and my mom and all of the staff, we try to go towards a more ethical approach in terms of like doing business. And also we made websites and videos and trying to put a more like digital, trying to keep up with the digital technology advancement, because everyone needs to have an access to us in the digital platform. Aside from that, since 2 years ago, I also enjoy doing public speaking. And in the past few months or few years, last year, since last year, I did public speaking coach as well. So that's about me, Andrea.
I really love it. I love this, all the activities, what you're doing. And I always wanted to ask you a question, because now I asked the people to go to the YouTube channel of the summit and then check out your presentation, because the way how you created the presentation and the images that you used were so nice, and it's so accurate to the modern times. So how did you do that presentation, and where did you get the images? Did you draw it yourself?
Oh, thank you, Andrea. So I learned from experience. In the past 2 years, I've been invited to speak in different platforms, mostly Toastmasters, but slowly I was also invited to speak about different things, including ethical manufacturing, or even like speech writing, or sometimes speech contest, being a judge, or doing some educational session. So whenever I got invited to an event, let's say, I usually need to prepare my own PowerPoint and presentation. So that's how I try, let's say, refine my own style, because I like something simple, because my focus is people needs to understand what I'm trying to say. So it's better to keep it simple, focus on clarity, and whatever I put in, the presentation is just visual aid. It's an aid. So it needs to help supplement what I'm trying to say. So that's my focus in creating that. And some of the images I use, I also put like a tiny little thing on the back. I take it from the internet, some of them, because I thought this is like wonderful. I don't have to recreate one myself if I can use this. Some I use my personal properties, like the images we had in our factory. So I just take a photo and then compile some of them. So it's a balance of both.
No, it's beautiful, and the colors also very beautiful. So I love the way how you shared it. Let's go closer to your topic. It's life perspective, right? You as a youngster and your perspective about life. So how does it look like? Why did you choose this title first?
Yeah, I think one thing that I learned the most since the last few years is our perspective determines the outcome of our decision. Because, like, for example, when we face challenges, we can see challenges as an obstacle or as an opportunity. And for me personally, growing up, I always see challenges as an obstacles, because I was raised with this mentality of I need to be the top of my class, I need to be the best, I cannot fail, let's not make mistakes. But as I growing more mature, I realized that what, failure is not bad. We can learn from failure. It's about how we see failures. So that's one big thing that I had learned in the past few years, is dealing with the concept of failure. And I realized that the crux of the matter is how we put in our perspective. If we see it as something bad, then it will remain as something that really demotivated us. But if we see it as, failure can be a stepping stone towards something greater, or like a learning value. So that's how I learned that actually perspective matters in most of cases.
And about failure a little bit more. So today everyone is talking about this, that failure is something that you can learn from, and failure is something that we have to take and then grow from it, and all these things. But I feel it's so forced, because when you think back in times, it was just like not emphasized that much, but people were doing their things, and when they did a mistake, then most of the time they try to make it better, right?
Yeah.
So what happened in between with the generations? They became a bit more lazier. Did the mindset change? Is it just too much, many things happening around us? Why do we have to remind ourselves again that failure is okay?
Yeah, I think it's an apt observation, Andrea, because of the generational gap. So a little bit about myself. My parents had me when they were 40. So it's not like a young age to have babies back in the end of 80s, right? So they raised me up like with a lot of traditional conservative value, including concept of failure. So they said, look, try not to make mistakes, because if you can do it correctly in the first try, why not? I mean, it has its own merit, right? Because at that time, maybe when during their generation, failure is something that's really fatal for them, because there was not many opportunities. There were not many opportunities back then compared to now. Now, because of the technology and the internet, the opportunity has been like more than ever, I think, compared to if you see 50, 40 years back, when there was no internet, there was no connection in between nations. So I think that's a part of what they learned from life, from their generation. And that's why I was raised up with the concept of try to avoid failure, because failure will mean that you have less opportunity to go forward and stuff. But in the last few years, or like let's say 5-10 years, especially when I went to Australia, I learned that actually failure is fine, because from failure you can learn. And at this stage, I have the privilege to be able to make mistake and keep on living. For maybe if we compare to like 50-60 years back, if you make mistake, probably there won't be any job for you the next day. So I think that's one thing that I'm mostly grateful of, the opportunity and the privilege to be able to make mistake and to learn at our own pace, compared to before, which probably like a totally different game.
And do you think that it's kind of like the previous generations were more for perfection? They were more perfectionist. Is it coming from that point of view? That's what you try to say?
Yes, I think so, Andrea, because my mom, she never said, you need to be perfect, or you need to do everything perfectly. But the expectation was high as the only child in a Chinese Indonesian family. She never say it, but we know what's not being said between the line. And I also thought that it was normal, the expectation of doing my best, being smart or being successful enough. It's just part of your family, good intention towards you. But the more I met people from all over the world and exposed to different cultures, I realized that actually life is not just like black and white. There are many shades of gray in between. So it's always good to have an open mind, to be less judgmental, in my opinion, because the more that you pursue for perfection, you forgot about little things called progress. And now I'm all for the opposite side. So I'm all for progress, because I realize as a human, we can never be perfect. But if we strive for progress, then our life hopefully will go towards the destination that we want to go, or even better.
Such a good additional insight from you, and I would like to go on with the generation topics, because we are actually at a summit which is talking about the young and the wise, and let's be bold together. So which generation are you from?
I was born in the end of the 80s, 88. So I think I'm Gen Y.
Yes, I
Millennial.
believe so. Yeah, I think yes. So it's like even you can be millennial. So they say that from the 81 until 96, those are the millennials or the generation Y.
Okay, I'm millennials then. My mom and my dad from baby boomers generation.
Baby boomer. So we are in the same generation. Actually, it's very interesting. So I was born in 82, so we are similar age group, and it's very interesting how how we changed, like compared to our parents. I think it's not so much of a difference, but still there is so many different perspectives coming into the picture when you see millennials and baby boomers. From your perspective, what's the biggest difference besides being perfectionist on the boomer side? What is the difference between millennials or Gen Ys and baby boomers?
I think two things that struck me as like the biggest difference. First one is the attitude towards work. For my mom's and my dad's generation, work is you work at one place and you work at that for your whole life. So it's about loyalty. It's about building up from scratch. Just for example, if you build one business, that's it. That's going to be your business for the rest of your life. But for my generation, millennials, and maybe after us, Gen Z, we are more into innovation, because the technology and the change happens so rapidly. So it's not unusual to have different work or different businesses or different jobs, and it's not unusual to start a business, keep it for like 3 to 5 years, and then you sell the business and then you move to another new ventures, let's say. So I think that's like the biggest perspective difference that I found between generation. The second one is a little bit personal, because I noticed this about my mom. She likes to keep stuff. She likes to save things, right? So I found this 30 years old tea sets buried in our storage room at the house. So I asked her, Mom, why don't you use them? And she said, no, I haven't even opened it yet. It's still new. I'm just gonna save it for special occasion. I've been living in this world for 30 years. It's never been used. When will you want to use it? But actually, from there, I realized we have like a different perspective in life. For her, because of her upbringing, she went through like some tragedies, the flood that wiped out all of her family possessions, and growing up with little money. So it's a different appreciation. She felt like she needs to take care of what she have, which means like to keep it and not use it. For me to appreciate something, we need to enjoy it, like enjoy the moment, enjoy what we have. So for me personally, that's like the biggest difference of perspective. But once I start to understand her perspective, we can meet in the middle, per se.
That's nice. That's nice. I feel the same with my parents. So it's hard, but if you are patient, you can actually get on the same value, and you can understand each other better. So I brought up something. I wanted to do this for such a long time. I brought up things from the 80s that people who are watching us maybe don't even know. So let me bring up the screen and let's just go together. Whether you remember this or not, I will just quit the advertisement. So Cassettes.
Yes,
I don't
cassette.
know. This was the first thing I remember myself. I don't know whether you did it, but I was always recording some radio shows, and then I was like listening to the radio show from the cassette. Did you have a cassette before?
I had cassettes for like music. I didn't use it to record, but I just, like from bands or from singers. And we have like this big, is it stereo box or something with the
Oh,
radio?
yes, the player and the radio. I also had it. Previously, we didn't have CDs and all this. Now, CD is also out of fashion. So basically, what we did, we had this cassette player, right? And the other thing, I think this is so funny. No one is using this anymore. And I remember I was so happy when I won one. I was like, wow, I won this Walkman. I was so proud of it.
Oh man. I mean, I'm laughing, but I started to think, okay, I'm quite old as well because I can relate to all of this stuff. I had
So
them.
this is all from the 80s. So anyone who is realizing what it is, they are from the 80s. Anyone who is not realizing what it is, they are after, because these are old things, but they were lovely things. I believe this was one of the things that we were using all the time, and we used the cassettes to play these things. And Alina is saying, yeah, Sega games, radio player, yes, also.
Yes. Sega.
Let me scroll further what we will find here.
Nintendo
Oh,
as
yes.
well.
Handwritten notes, yeah, sure. I mean, I'm still a writer. If you check how I do this summit, I always have a note with me with a lot of notes handwritten, because that's my second thing. Ah, yes, you too.
This is me too. Yeah, me
I
too.
think
Me
it's
too.
also characteristic for us. Elena is saying the VCR. Yes, we were watching videos from the VCR. It's also something that we did. Let me scroll. Oh yes, this is actually from Hungary. I don't know whether you had it, because it was invented by a Hungarian guy. So have you ever
We,
tried the
we
Rubik?
had it, but I think it came to Indonesia a little bit late.
Later.
Yeah. So it
I
was not
still
like,
have the
yeah.
still have the old one. It's already a bit already like yeah, old, but it's still like this. And Alina is saying, yeah, diary and journals. Yeah. I'm also amateur I'm writing diaries. Do you write
From time to time.
journals? Yeah,
Yeah.
it's really nice. Let me scroll further. I'm so excited. I haven't checked this for a while.
Oh,
I don't really know Caboodle. Does anyone know Caboodle? Maybe it was specific from somewhere. It's like pencil cases.
yeah. Basically like a pencil case, right? Like the click pencil case because it can be open like this, and then when you close it, click.
Yes.
I don't know if it's called caboodle. I just call it pencil case.
Okay. Trapper, Capper. That one I don't know. Maybe this is
This one I
something
don't know.
specific. The joy of painting. No, maybe it's American kind of related. Oh well, yeah.
Yes.
These games, we had it. Let me see whether I have this. Holding hands with people to form continuous human chain. Human chain, right?
Yeah.
1986. I didn't really know that it was coming from this era.
Yeah,
It's
me
really,
too.
really nice. Maybe we could do it again after reconnecting to each other. Human chains. No, that was fun. I just wanted
Oh, it
to
was
bring
fun.
up a few things. And if you in the audience can tell us a little bit more about what your generation is about, just write 2 or 3 things that you think only your generation knows, and write it in the comments, even if you're watching us on replay. And let's see through the
Andrea,
different gadgets.
I have one. Tamagotchi.
Oh yes, Tamagotchi.
That was like the hottest thing ever at that time. Some rich kids in my school, they came and bring like this tiny little thing, and we're like, what is that? Oh, look at my egg. What egg?
I tried, but I always forgot to feed them. I didn't really treated them like real animals, or how you say that. But yeah.
Yeah, me too. It didn't work out for me as well. I'm like, yeah, for 1 week and that's it.
And now we have all these guys going around in the mall. I remember this one hunting for the Pikachu's or
Pokemon.
Pokemons. Yeah.
Pokemon.
Then they are hunting and with the phone. And then first time I remember I moved to Malaysia and I saw this and I was sitting in a mall and I saw people just almost bumping into each other and doing this.
Yeah.
I was like, what are they doing? They had their phones in their hands, and then someone showed me. So it's really nice that, and it's adult, someone older than me who was playing this in Amsterdam this year. Yes, so you see the map, and on the map where you are, you
Mhm.
can see the little points and the things that you can
Hunt.
collect.
Yeah.
Hunt, yeah.
Mm-mm-mm. In a way,
So
it's a good conversation starter, because I think it's also hard for parents to communicate with a teenager nowadays. That at
oh
least
yeah.
that's what I heard from my friends. So
Yes, it's really nice to actually get to know each other a little bit better through these examples, and then you can start the conversation like Natalie just said. Jagatis is saying geometry box. Well, yeah, I had something like this also, geometry box, or a package that we get at the school, with the bricks and the little things. I don't know whether you had it in Indonesia. It was like given to you in a big box, and you
okay.
used it for geometry. We even had this kind of plastic triangles, circles when we were
Oh,
using the different, learning about the different shapes.
oh, we didn't have it. Yeah, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah.
So, Natalie, at the end of the conversation, I see Tahir popping up in the studio. What would you think is your message to the young and the wise? First, to the youth, same like you, your generation, and then after for the wise generation.
Oh, okay. Thank you, Andrea. I think for the youth or people like me from Gen Y or even like younger than that, it's very important to keep to be respectful to older generations. We may not share the same perspective or share the same values about life, but I think it's always good to be respectful, because when we are respectful, we can still have like an open mind attitude. We can always learn more important like life values that have been proved by the previous generation, things like kindness, hard work, and resilience. We always can learn from like the older generation because they're the wise. And for the wise, uh, I believe that communication is important to bridge the generational gap, especially because of so many different things. So, and I would say consider having like an open, non-judgmental conversation with the younger generation, be it your kids or your grandkids. It will help them to be in like a safer position to be more open and vulnerable. And I feel like this is a great way for both of you to really start a stronger relationship. So I think that's my last 2 cents.
Beautiful message, beautiful message. We still waiting for Tahir. I think he's fixing his connections because I saw him popping up and now he's not in the studio. So let's wait for him.
Okay.
So until we are waiting for him, let me ask one more question. What do you think about the new way of business, the new way of doing business online? Was it harder for you? Was it easier for you? Did you have to adapt? Because you are in a manufacturing business, which means you really need to be there where your company is. You really need to show up and produce those things that you're producing. So how did you solve it?
Yeah, thank you, Andrea. This is a very relevant question. I think online, whether you like it or not, is the way to go. So if you see now, the brick and mortar shop compared to like an online shop, the growth of online shop is like skyrocketing, and the brick and mortar shop struggle unless they have like a certain like community support, because after all it's an offline thing, so people needs to come there, right? For me as a manufacturer, we need to work on site, so it is one challenge to balance between our output, our productivity compares to our input, like the resources that we get, that the income that we get compared to the resources that we needs to pay out. So it's always like a constant challenge. But one of the thing that we're trying to adapt is we're trying to keep an open mind to like a different strategy. For example, we started to separate certain things. For example, a harder, a more tailor-made clothes, we definitely produce it at our factory. But a simpler and more standardized items like masks, which we produce quite a lot, we now ask our seamstresses to work at home in their spare time, because we also pay them properly. So that's like one thing that we are not exploiting them. We're not like doing more than what is expected to be done, but it's just trying to keep up with the demand, also trying to reach out online with the use of social media. I think social media is very important nowadays to introduce the business and at least to get people to know what I'm doing. So I got some people reach me out through Instagram asking me what I'm doing, can I make this, blah blah blah. So that's what I think, Andrea. It's you can't prevent the online advancement, but we need to adapt and adjust our strategy so we are still relevant.
That's beautiful message. Actually, it's something that it's worth to check and worth to think about, worth to ponder around, right? Because it's always about the solution. It's not really anymore about the problems and keep sticking to the problem and complaining. Sorry to say this, guys, but if you do that, then maybe you are really leaving yourself behind, and you will never be able to catch up. So really, really important here to listen to all these speakers, get the inspiration and get activated and implement the things, get tips, write at least one tip down, like what Natalie said today. You can just take one tip of, all right, let's get creative and figure out how you can simplify your manufacturing and how you can make simple items, maybe how your employees can produce them at home, how you can make it possible, how you help them with tools, and just think about it. Maybe it's possible. Maybe that's the future. Maybe you will even have less costs at the factory, right? Because of this little change. So Natalie, thank you very much. I see Tahir is ready, so I will let him into the studio, and have a beautiful day in Bali. I'm so looking forward to visit you very, very soon. I need some relaxation.
You deserve it, Andrea. You deserve it.
So after these 2 weeks, let's see whether I will be able to go somewhere at least, and then let's have a little relax. For the audience, if you would like to reach out to Natalie and learn more about anything what she was saying, or just ethical manufacturing, go and search for her on LinkedIn, and you will find her. The name is here, Natalie Jehadi. I'm trying my best. So thank you very much, Natalie, for being here. Have a beautiful day.
Thank you, Andrea. Thank you, everyone. Have a good day. God bless.
So before I bring Tahir, I would just want to say to you that we have something very exciting coming up. I have to tell this for all of you all the time when I'm on the screen. We released an application yesterday with money from Solworks, one of our sponsors. If you see the barcode above me, QR code above me, then actually you can get to a GES treasure hunt. So what does it mean? If you read the barcode and you have a free ticket, then you received an email from info@changeyourlifesocialize.com, and you get the steps what you need to do. You even got the password from me, and you can collect points while watching us. And once you are collecting the points and you end up on the top of the leaderboard, Well, guys, you can win. What you can win is a $500 worth value of coaching package from me. It's a 3-month coaching program about creative leadership. And then money from Soulworks was also offering a $200 value price. So there are a lot of things just lining up for you. Please make sure that you participate. Please make sure that you're participating in the treasure hunt and you try out the application. So now is the time to bring up Tahir, my good old friend that I haven't met for such a long time. Hi, Tahir. How are you today?
Hi, Andrea. Fantastic. Lovely to see you. Love your hat. Thank you for having me.
Hi, that's
How
my
are you?
diversity have. It's harmonizing with my flowers in the background.
Love them. Love them.
So how are you, Tahir? How has been life with you? Have you traveled? Could you travel, or you are still in Malaysia? Tell us a little bit update us about your life.
All right. So I haven't traveled since March 2020 when I came to Kuala Lumpur, and my travel begins in about 20 hours from now, and I'm going to Istanbul and then Antalya, Turkey, for a conference and to have lots and lots and lots of fun.
Wow, Turkey, I want to go there. There are so many good tango dancers. Tahir, take me. I just want to go there. And tango events are opening up, and I'm just so eager to dance. And I was watching videos from Turkey, and they have such beautiful events there. I mean, you have to watch it, even if it's not for you for dancing. Just go and watch them. They are
Yeah,
amazing dancers.
I can't do tango, but I would absolutely love watching that. I would absolutely love watching you doing tango. I can't wait for that.
Hope I find a partner. You see, you have to learn tango, and then we can do tango together.
There you go. Yes.
Maybe that's a solution. We were like always like, figuring this out. I have to teach you.
Yes.
So
Thank you.
Tahir, I'm really happy to have you here at the studio. It will be a shorter interview this time. So we have around 20 minutes to talk about your topic, which you choose. Let me bring it up. Da-da-da-da. How to become unstoppable. And you have it on your t-shirt too. So let's get to this topic. Yeah. So how
Right.
can you become unstoppable, and why did you choose the word unstoppable?
Right. So let's start with why did I choose the word unstoppable? And one of the reasons was, and this is a true story. I was watching one of those Avenger movies, and this is like probably 10 years ago or 8 years ago, and I saw the Hulk. I don't remember which Avenger movie it was. I saw the Hulk, and he was like literally you couldn't stop him, and he was smashing everything and moving forward on his focused target. And I'm like, wow, what if everyone could become like that? And hence the word unstoppable came, that what happens when you become undefeatable, nothing would stop you. I mean, you might fall, but then you get up, and as long as you don't give up, you keep moving forward. And human beings have the capacity of doing that. All of us have the capacity of doing that, because as babies we did that. As toddlers we would crawl, get up, fall, get up, fall, get up, fall, and as long as you can walk, you never give up, and here we are, right? So that's how the word unstoppable came about, with the idea, and for me, it's also important that it clicks with me. So I literally own the word unstoppable, and I'm on it. I mean, we've seen the ups, we've seen the downs, and the ups and the downs. So here we are excited and sharing this topic today with our audience. So that was the first thing, how the word came about. Wow, look at that. Exactly the point. Now I don't have to smash all the time. Okay, so disclaimer, you can do it in a much better way, but that's the idea. So that's the vision, that what I love about Hulk's strength is when he's focused. I mean, and he doesn't even need to be angry, when he's focused, no matter what happens, you just keep charging, you just keep moving forward, and nothing can stop you. So we can take all the positives out from him, and with a brown skin or a white skin or a black skin. None of us have green skin, so that is still pretty good stuff, guys. Pretty good stuff. Yes.
I was just searching on Google and I was like, well, I have to show how, because when you see the expressions, right? And I will bring it up again and just do search on Google for how to make this experiment with us. When you look at this picture, especially the black frame one, right? You are like really feeling the power, like I'm the one who will do it. And it's not really the masculine power. It's more like the thing that you can get there. You are committed and you are sure about it, that you will get to your dream, right?
Absolutely. The posture. I mean, he's not like I'm gonna be. He cannot be unstoppable like that. So you really have to be. And this is what a lot of people think. Oh, when things are going great, I can do all that. No, no, no. The challenge is when things are not going great. When your business or your job or your whatever it is, family life, something didn't work out the way you thought it should. That's the time being unstoppable is truly tested. Right, so it's interesting.
I love it. So let's move the audience. I see Jack here and Elena, and I don't know who else is watching us, but I would like to challenge you, and I would like your help, Tahir. So let's get into the power pose. What is your favorite power pose that you sometimes maybe use with your audience? Do you have one?
Yes, and I'll do it here right now. So one of my power poses, and I've learned this back in 2004 with Tony Robbins when I was doing Walk on Fire. I still remember I did this in London, and it was just mind blowing. So one of the things I do when I go up on stage to change my state is I use sound and gesture. So I will make an attempt to demonstrate, and I've never done this, by the way, on a virtual call. So I'm going to make that noise and I'm going to make the gesture. So one of the things I do is I make this noise where it goes yay, and it goes like that. Now, what it does is, the moment I do that with the voice, it sends like a 240 volt across my body. Now, keep in mind, this is me going up on stage talking to 1,000 people, 4,000 people, or even lesser, because I need to be in that peak state. And then when I'm up there, we get everyone to stand, and because everyone has been sitting there for a while, and make them stand and make them do this with me, and then say yes.
So let's do it. I mean, we can do it, no?
Yes,
let's try
do
to
it.
do it. I mean, it will be funny because it's the two of us, but let's try to give this feeling to the people who are watching this video. I'm in the challenge. So let's just put my chair a little bit behind, and I will just stand up, and you can sit if you cannot move. And then let's just lead me through like I would be your audience, and I will do exactly the same what you do.
Done deal. So let's do it. So one of the things we're gonna do. So here's the thing. We're gonna say yeah, right? Yeah. So we're gonna hold. So we got left hand and a right hand, and I'm gonna move this. That's my right hand. So I'm saying yeah, and this will go there.
You have to be more powerful with the yeah, right?
Yes, right, exactly. So guys, please reduce your volume in case I might get you deaf or something. So because I can be really loud, right? So right hand goes like this.
1, 2, 3, or something, so that we are in the same moment, or how do we do?
Right. So I'll do a count of 3. Go. So what will happen is yeah, and then we're gonna do that, and then we say yes. All right. So that's the activity. So let's start that. 1, 2, 3. Yay! Yay! There you go. Yes.
Yes.
Okay, let's do it one more time. Let's do it one more time, right? So this time we'll synchronize it together. So okay, so on the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. Yay! Yes.
Yes.
Awesome. You're awesome. You're awesome.
I think I felt it. It was a nice pinch. Yeah.
So this one gets to me. You know, I get like really. I don't even need to stand up right now because I've practiced it so many years. So that's important for me. And then when I go up over there, when I'm up there on stage, or if you're an audience sitting, you're like, wow, that's a whole different energy, power. And then what happens, and then you're ready to listen because you've in a way conditioned your mind verbally, physically, and emotionally. Because when you say yes with the right emotion, as if you mean it, like the pose of the Hulk when he was doing that, you're good to go. You're good to go. Yes.
I love it because it's still tingling in my. I don't know
Yes,
whether the
yes,
audience is
and
still
mine
like
are
giving
red.
the sense. Yeah,
Yeah,
me too. I was
yeah.
pushing it a little bit too hard, but Simfong is saying ouch too. So
Ouch.
I
Yeah.
believe he tried and it's either the voice or either the clap. But yeah, it's very interesting because as a dancer, I'm also using the bodily movements to express myself and try to make the people understand about the importance of connecting your mind and your body. Because when you do that, the first thing what you could do is like you were feeling the throat and how you create the voice, right? Then you heard your own voice, and then I was hearing myself like a bit shaky. I was not so confident. I still felt that I'm still low, so I raised my voice, and then I started to feel a little bit better. And then I was like pushing my hands together, watching at you, and then I clapped, and then you felt the tingling feeling and the little wake up in your hands. And right after that, I sit down, I still feel the tingling, and it's kind of like, wow, I'm awake. Like that's the feeling. Everything is more clear. So thank
Correct,
you,
correct.
Tahir.
Awesome. Thank you for being such a nice sport and asking our audience to challenge it. And this is something you could do when you're about to get into a meeting, when you're waking up and you don't feel like it. So this allows you to get and again, if you don't get it right the first time, that's okay. Keep doing it consistently. The key is not to give up, and then it gets easier and easier and easier to a point where you can literally take 2 or 3 seconds and you can get back on whatever that is that you're doing with complete intensity.
And I would also say to the audience that don't get self-conscious about the timing, because we are on different internet lines, so it will never be exactly the same. So what you have to do with your team, with your audience, is just let them do as they do, because the end goal is not to be synchronized on the screen. The end goal is to be synchronized here and to do these energetic movements, right, Tahir?
Absolutely correct. Absolutely.
And if you want more, then go to Tony Robbins coaching, because he's doing now not bungee jumping, but the how you call a little trampoline where you can jump around.
Yes,
So
yes,
he's
yes. So,
doing
so
it
he does
live.
that. He's doing that. He's bringing Walk on Fire back again. So he's doing all of that stuff. Yes, yes. It should be a life-changing event.
Simfong is already unstoppable. Thank you, Simfong.
Awesome, man.
And
Awesome.
Jagat
Loving the
is
energy.
feeling energetic also. So thank you, Jack, that you tried. Very, very nice. Thank you, guys. So Tahir, let's go further with your topic. So when people are already awake, they already know where they are in the present moment, right? So what's the next step that you are leading them through? If you could just summarize like the most important three steps of your methodology of becoming unstoppable.
Absolutely, absolutely. And so what I'm going to today talk about is the 3 steps in terms of methodology to become unstoppable. This is something all of us, as long as we are all human beings listening and watching this, do consciously or subconsciously, knowingly or unknowingly, right? So the 3-step process starts with any and every task that requires in our life that requires our attention. So step number 1. In terms of the unstoppable process. Step number 1 is the thought that is generated in your mind. Of course, we can do a full session on mindset, but given the time we have today, so let's start with this thought. Think of any event or a situation, financial, relationship, emotional, any situation. So here's my question. What was the thought that came to the mind when that happened? Whatever that be, right? And this is important because we react to any situation based on the way we are programmed as human beings. And I'll explain a bit more on the programming, so there is a default reaction to it. Oh, why is it raining? I want to take a walk. Or why is it so hazy in Kuala Lumpur? For those of you who don't know what hazy in Kuala Lumpur is, you can Google that. Or why are we still in a pandemic? Why can't we still travel? I'd love to travel. So something like that, right? So that's number 1, thought, right? What is the thought? The idea is to take full inventory of the 3 steps. Number 1, thought. What is the thought when a situation happens? Are you happy? Are you sad? Are you challenged? Are you down? Are you angry? Number one, right? Now, I'll teach you, if you have time, how to change a bit of that. But let's take a situation, there's a thought. Step one, positive thought will do this. Decision. Step number two is the decision. Every thought leads to a decision. I'm going to decide on, I don't like this economy, I don't like the pandemic, or does God exist, or why is God punishing me? I'm a nice person, why would God do this to me? And the list goes on, right? Based on the thought, we will make a decision. It's all still in the mind. Nothing has happened yet as far as physicality is concerned. It's still in the mind, and it's happening within milliseconds. A thought is generated because of a situation, circumstance, environment, etc., that leads us to decide on that particular thing, and that leads us to take action. So I want to talk about these three steps. Thought. The culprit is not the action, because if the thought slips through you in a situation, the action is unavoidable. Too late, right? Have you ever been in a situation where you regretted being in it? You're like, I could have done better. I could have responded better. I could have done that so much better, right? So you're talking about the action that you took. And the reason you could have done better, all of us can do better, is when we talk about the thought. And I'll come back to that in a minute. So a thought based on a situation, environment, generates a thought. That thought allows us to make a decision. Based on that decision, we take action. The action is anger, happiness, frustration, celebration, whatever that is. Have you ever met people who are in worse situations than you, and yet they respond in a much better way? The world is filled with such examples. Just when you think you're in the most worst of all the situations, you'll find someone in a much worse situation than you, and they respond in a better way. Why? If two human beings are put in the same situation, why does one react a certain way and the other react in a completely different way? Why does it happen? Let's talk about business for a minute. How does it happen that a person gets thrown out of their own company and then they go and build a multi-billion-dollar company by buying that company back? Steve Jobs, one example of that. How do you see people in tragic relationships? You name it, horrendous things happen to them. They grow as adults, and then they go out and empower the masses. They're doing TED Talks, they're on government panels, they are on events like these, and their voice, their story, their tragedy impacts and puts people into tears and inspires them. Right? Whereas someone else in a similar situation could have gone completely elsewhere, could be on drugs, or could have got psychotic, could be on medication in all that same situation. What's happening here? What's happening is the thought that emerges in your mind, that's the culprit, or that's the winning ticket. Because the next step is the decision. If it's a positive thought, the decision is positive, the action is positive. If it's a negative thought, the decision is negative, the action is negative. The rest follows. So let's catch the culprit while it is getting, when you put the seed in the land and before you start watering it, whether it's positive or negative. So let's catch it at that point. And that's why, if you take my book as an example, by the way, it's here. That's the Unstoppable Millionaire book that I wrote. The first thing I talk about in the book is mindset. Both the scientific version of it, that the reason why we have to work on our mindset before we start working on the action, the skills, is because it all starts here. The biggest dreams, the biggest wealth, the best emotions all start from here. Before they even materialize in your body, before it becomes a smile, before it becomes an energy, before it becomes confidence. You with me, right? So that's 3 steps I want to talk about becoming unstoppable, right? So, and let's work on the thought process. So some of you are thinking, all right, good deal, easy to say, but how do you something didn't go your way? How do you then work on becoming positive? How do you take a negative situation and then turn that into positivity? But before I go into that, I want to pause here, Andrea, in case you have any questions, and I'm just going to read if there are any questions here to get them answered.
No questions. Jagatis was just summarizing your thoughts. Thoughts and what's action taken, decision needs to decide, action is celebration, and much better ways. Sorry.
Love that. I love the way you're summarizing. All right. So then the question is that then okay. So positive stuff. Okay, we all understand that. We don't need to explain that further. So let's talk about the negative stuff then, right? Things are happening. We were in a lockdown. We were told to wear masks and do things we are not used to. This. Some people think that's their freedom of right. Some people do not want to be vaccinated, and so much more, right? With families, jobs, business, wealth, and all that. So now the question is, how do you take something negative and then turn it into other way around? That's the question here, right? So I want to give you a formula first. We all human beings live on the planet called Earth. Yeah, with a few exceptions of space and moon, right? But most of them are on Earth, right? There are certain things known as the law of universe. Think about this. In your home right now, how hard do you need to work to make it dirty? You don't. It automatically can get dirty. Don't clean your home, dirty. How about you? How about your body? How long do you need to wait before you get dirty? Don't shower, you'll get dirty. So you understand the physics, right? That body, house, don't clean, get dirty. What you need to do is, showering is effort. Showering is effort. Cleaning the home is effort. To do what? To make it clean. Got it? So the law of universe works in a way where the dirt automatically comes. The effort is to clean it. Similarly, human beings have a primitive mind, where the job of the mind, it doesn't care about the emotion of happiness, sadness, depression. It doesn't care. Its job is to protect you no matter what, even if you're going to feel depressed. So that's the job of the primitive mind. And to make sure that the negativity will automatically come. And I'll give you some famous Facebook quotes, right? Oh, you do all good things for people and you just mess it one time and they will remember you for that. Ever heard that one? Yes. Why? Because people tend to usually easily remember that one wrong thing that you did and forget the 1 million good things that you did. So what happens is you have to consciously learn that this is something you will have to work on. This is not something you're born with. Just like no one is born and says, now I'm born, I showered myself, I'm good for the next 60 years. People will laugh at you. Same goes with your mindset. That you have to work on getting it clean. Now, I'll give you my own example. One of my examples was...
Sorry to stop you. I'm using the Hungarian signs. Maybe it's not the same in Asia. I'm like putting my hands up.
You can just say it.
I didn't want to interrupt you because you are so in the moment, and then people see. I love to show people how passionate all the speakers are. So I just let you speak, but I have to skip the studio because we have another studio where some other speakers will join us. So for you, this was the end of your 30 minutes.
Wow, 30 minutes are gone. Unbelievable. So somehow. So, Andrea, can I just say something? Anyone watching and you're like, oh my God, I need more? Andrea, please let them know where they can get me. Find me everywhere. I'm everywhere on the social media. Get hold of me and mention this. I'll be more than happy to share more with you on whatever platform we are on. So thank you so much.
We will get you back. We will get you back 7:30 diversity panel. So Tahir will be part of it and he will be again on the screen. Just remember the name and search for him on LinkedIn and you will find him. And then from there, if you write GES 2021 in the connection request, I'm sure that he will accept it because he will know that you were here. Please make sure you connect with the speakers. This is something that's called warm connection. It's already warmed up by me for you. So what you have to do is really take this opportunity and make sure that you connect the the speakers. Thank you very much, Tahir. I know that you would love to continue. So if you want to come back, I still have a few slots. So you can still come back, continue and have a workshop. But I know you are super busy. But thank you very much for your time and for your share. Please watch it back, guys. Thank you, Simfong. Yes. It's really nice what Simfong is saying.
You stopped.
I get stopped by the little dancing lady. So sorry.
No,
I'm a
that's all right.
powerful
No,
leader. I have to lead my team towards success and I have to make them thrive. So I have to give everyone the opportunity. And I don't believe that I have ever stopped Tahir because he will start and continue his amazing job in the future. So thank you very much, Tahir.
Thank you so much, Andrea. Lovely to see you. Thank you. See you
too.
then.
Thank you. Thank you, guys. Bye bye. Thank you, Singpong
Bye-bye.
and Jag.